Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade, and tonight we're at the Friars Club in New York City for the premiere of Neil LaBute's Dirty Weekend. We'll be bringing interviews with the director himself as well as the stars Matthew Broderick and Alice Eve, so get ready for a great night behind the velvet rope. Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade, the great Matthew Broderick. This movie, ton of fun. I was just talking to Alice Eve about it. It's very different from a normal romantic comedy. It's essentially buddies on almost a caper mission. What drew you to it?
Well, the writing. I liked the dialogue and the characters, and Neil LaBute wrote it, and that Alice Eve was in it, and it just seemed like would make a good movie.
You've had a career where you've done almost everything. When you get to work with someone like Neil LaBute, very few people can really communicate relationships the way he does.
Yeah.
What makes him so good at what he does?
I don't know. I guess he's just that seems to be what interests him, and he's a wonderful writer, and it must come out of his life somehow, but I don't know why he's good at it. I have no idea.
In movies like this, chemistry is everything. Talk to me about building that chemistry with Alice.
Well, hopefully it translated. We certainly enjoyed each other, and we were stuck together in a remote it was a little like the movie. We were, in Albuquerque, which is a very nice place. We were just working in a hotel, and lots of dialogue. We had so much to learn every day, so we ended up having to spend quite a bit of time together, just going over the script during lunch, dinner. Always, the next day there'd always be 10-page scene to learn, so we were together a lot.
This movie, ton of fun, talking about working with Matthew and having the great Neil LaBute directing. It's going to be awesome.
It is awesome. It's my second movie with him, and I feel very lucky every time I step on a set with him.
I love this movie because it's not just a regular kind of romantic comedy. It's more of a buddy, caper mixture with two people we have no idea what's going on.
It's interesting because we have bromances and we have like girl movies, like friend movies, but we don't have that many movies about a male-female relationship because, they can be complex and fraught. But with these two characters, there's no romance. There's a genuine friendship between them. And I feel the same about Matthew in real life. Like, he's just he's a funny man. And so I like that about it too. Thank you.
He's one of the great American cinematic, unique
Comedians.
comedians.
Yeah.
When you get to work with somebody like that, and you've worked with so many great talents, but when you get to work with someone like Matthew Broderick, what's that like?
This was a good one for me. It was a really special experience because in a movie there's a lot of downtime, and also there's a lot of, there can be tension, and not that there was too much on this because Neil keeps a pretty chilled set, but Matthew's just funny consistently. He's funny. He's got that New York humor, and he just kind of has it. And so I'm lucky to know him. We're friends on WhatsApp.
No one does relationships quite like you do, and this is another relationship movie, although a very different one. We get to see Matthew and Alice half caper, half finding each other out. Talk to me about how did this all come about?
I wanted to do something that was about people who weren't falling in love or falling out of love. Two people who were on a kind of road journey together, but didn't have that traditional place where they, begin to find they're having feelings for each other. They both had something in their past, or a part of their relationship that they couldn't talk to people about, and they're slowly exposing them to each other. But there was never a point where they were going to be in love with each other, and I thought that was something I hadn't really seen before. Coworkers who remain coworkers, and I think we spend a lot of time in our lives with people at work, and create different bonds than we do, in our lives outside of work. And so that was an interesting relationship to me.
That's what I love is you have Matthew and Alice who couldn't be more polar opposites,
right.
And as they're going through this journey, to see the different revelations without giving too much away, building that chemistry between the two of them, is that instantaneous? How does that all happen?
That, it has to happen fast when you're shooting a movie quickly, but actors are very good at looking like they've known someone forever, or that they've been in love or married, or that's part of the job, is this creating who do you want me to be this time, and so I had worked with Alice before and I'd only met Matthew, so we kind of just pitched in and gave them as much time together as they could get when we were in New Mexico. That is one thing, is that we were all together in a place that we didn't live, and so you kind of feel like when you're living in a hotel, you just kind of go, let's meet in the lobby and we'll talk some more and spend some time, get a meal, so you bond, I think, much more easily than if you were going home every night to your regular family.